I'm Sherry. Boy, it's been a minute, hot minute since I've come on here live, and I just wanted to do that today because there's so much has happened in the grow room. A few videos have gone up. I'm sure you guys have seen them, but you haven't really seen up close and personal. So today, I need to take this tomato tower that's behind me. It's like completely overgrown again, from like jungle back to juicy. So when your tower of tomatoes, or maybe a section of whatever you're growing, gets too dense, too jungle-like, it's important to cut it back to stimulate the main veins or vines to promote flowering. So we know that tomatoes can, continue to grow for a very long time. You're actually going to run into problems with the tower before this stops growing. If your nutrients are on point, if your pH is on point, and that's what's going on here. Like everything is really just lush and live, and I've got tons of tomatoes and a few flowers, but I want more. So how do I do that? I need to go and thin it out. But I thought before we did that, I'd give you guys a little bit of a tour because it's just been a little bit of a turnover in this room, and I've moved things. Some things have come in, and I've moved the time-lapse camera off of the tomatoes to a zucchini that will go up probably in the next week or so because they grow really, really fast. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to spin the camera around and I'm going to show you guys what we can do here. All right, so we've all seen the tomato tower. We'll get back to that in a quick second, but this is the pepper tower, the new pepper tower. So I kept some of the existing peppers that were on the bottom, but what I did, and I'm sure you guys saw that video, where I took some soil-based pepper plants. I think one was red and one was jalapeno, and I wanted to add them to this tower, and that's what I did. So I kept some of the existing, those are on the bottom, and then right here, this whole area in here was the ones that were store-bought, that I rinsed off the soil and then built out that little bed, if you will, in the net pot to support it. So you can see right here how beautiful it is. And if I get up real, real close, and I'm going to go ahead and lift this little leaf right there, you can see right there, I believe this is a jalapeno. This is the first soil-based pepper plant that I rinsed and put in here with its own little, rock wall. And then I put the covers on to protect it from any algae to, get it going strong. So, oh, cool. I don't think you can do the blueberry bushes on the tower, but I wish I could because that would be really, really amazing. So I have my first flower there. So I'm really excited to go ahead and pollinate that. And then over here, this is another one. So as I mentioned in the video, when you transfer these soil-based to hydroponic, there will be a shift. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So right here, this was the last one that I put in. And it was just kind of the very last one. I wasn't sure I was really want any bottom leaves. I wanted to focus on the tops. I'm going to go ahead and prune those off. But it'll shed these. But this is all new growth. And that's what happened to this guy. Actually all of them. It just, it shut off all the other ones. And then as it drank up the nutrients and the pH was on point, it went ahead and all new leaves. And now it's ready to bud. So don't be afraid to head to your local nursery. Hey, what's going on, guys? And grab some of those. If you want peppers, there's all kinds of different varieties. There's, your bell peppers, your jalapeno peppers, small varieties, large varieties. Peppers, are one of them. I'm going to back up a little bit here. One of the things you can do on a tower, and you really just kind of play around with it. And honestly, even if you've got the big variety, which some of the top ones, these are the ones, if you watched a live a long time ago, here, I took seeds from that pepper and I went ahead and I germinated it in a paper towel and zip bag and put it on my warming mat in the nursery. And it went ahead and germinated. So I went ahead and put them into rock wall on that video. And those are those guys. And they're actually doing pretty well. And that is a grocery store pepper, bell pepper. So those are actually good size. So you just got to play around with the towers. And the tower will really only let you get so big. So don't be afraid. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so this is a different kind of zucchini. And it's a round zucchini versus that long, kind of, what you're normally used to seeing in the grocery store. And it's really kind of coming in nice. The pH, I'm keeping it around 6.0, and the nutrients, I think I bumped it up yesterday to around 2.1. And the range on that is 1.8 to 2.4. So as you can see, when um, when you have the proper nutrients, it's really just going to take off. And as you can see, I have this trellis on there, and that really just makes a difference. And also, you can kind of just prop up your leaves a little bit gently, and sometimes they'll stay. It's not there yet, but it allows the airflow, and that will cut down on your powdery mildew that happens on the towers. You know what, Primal, I used to have a strawberry, and it was I think it was actually right where where we're standing right now, the zucchini. That was all strawberries, even up in the baby green section where this is all butter lettuce. And you know, it took a long time for the seeds to develop in the rock wall. I mean, it really was a challenge. You can go back and see that in some of my videos from the very beginning. And then right to me pollinating them. It was quite the experience, and I'm glad that I did it. However, what I yielded off of that was very small strawberries, versus like the peppers. 2 peppers, 3 peppers is a meal. This whole tower right here um, is a lot of food. So as I've gone through this journey since I've started back in December over not being able to find a cucumber where I live in Newport, Rhode Island, um, I look at the towers as my grocery store. This whole room is my grocery stores. And it's important to me that what I'm growing on the towers is going to provide, food, whether it's a salad or a stir fry that I can mix with some healthy proteins. Will I do strawberries again? Probably. Yeah, I probably will. But I just took a break because it was literally from December all the way to like, I think the beginning of May is when I was doing the strawberries. And for what I yielded off of that and the time I put into it, I couldn't really justify it. But listen, I love strawberries. But the good thing is, if you stay with me in a little bit, you're going to see my watermelon tower. And that is super, super cool because I have at least 3 good sized ones and a lot of little ones that are pollinated. So I'm going to spin this. Now, this is my, believe it or not, this is a home tower garden. This is the smaller version. And I went ahead and said, I'm going to defy all the rules here and go ahead and put some big, like the grocery store type zucchinis. And if I pan down right here, you can kind of see where on this table, I have my time-lapse camera and it's angled right there at that zucchini. And I'm watching it grow. So if you watch the video, Bigger is Better, that I posted last week, it's really about this tower. And it's about, if you're going to grow zucchini and squash, summer squash, melons, any kind of like butternut squash, they're not going to give you the fruit until the plant is big enough. And so what I mean by that is, see this whole plant, this is like one, well, this is one, and then this was one down here. Until the leaves reach a certain size, and it's almost like when you go to reach in there to like maybe trim off a leaf or something and you get stabbed by one of those darn thorns. That's when you know the plant is ready. It is mature, but you got to get it to that point. And how do you do that? Well, you start it from seed. Right now, actually, you could probably start it from a nursery, rinse off the soil and put it right in and save yourself a week or two. But this is a big seed, and big seeds generally they come up real fast in the rock wall, and you can pop them in. We're going to get to the nursery in a minute. I'm going to show you some. The pumpkins are coming along, and I've got some other stuff that are over there as well. But you put it in here, and you keep up with your nutrients, and you keep up with your pH and your nutrients to keep everything going. And nutrients you do once a week, and pH you really want to stay up on top of twice a week, because if you have roots that are dangling in the reservoir and they're too long, you can give them a little haircut, and that's totally okay. Because what happens is those roots, inevitably something might die, and that's going to change a little of that pH. I don't know. A blueberry bush needs to have blueberries. I don't know. I do know that when you live on the coast like me, if I had more land, I'd probably give it a whirl, because blueberries They definitely like that sea air. So, you know, kind of like the hydrangea, if you look at Nantucket and the Vineyard and Cape Cod and Newport, the hydrangea here is gorgeous. It has just something to do with the constant moisture in the air. It's like living in a marine environment. But I wish I could do blueberries. So anyway, so this tower. So that's how you know that it's ready. Bigger is better when it comes to squash and melons. And it will give you really good fruit, and it will give you the flowers, both male and female, when it's time. And then on the top, right here, I've got a little bit of arugula. I need to plant a little bit more and fill that out. I think I ran out. That's what it was. So I'm going to come over in the nursery. So, all right, guys, if you guys are following me, and I know that you are, um, I'm doing a pumpkin challenge, and that's in my videos as well. So if you've been